Hello everybody, welcome back. I asked on Twitter which video game we're going to continue with, and people voted Stanley Parable. So, here we are. I'm still in the settings. Also the cat is right here. You might see her ears. Just as a heads up. Okay, let's go. I have not played this game. The only thing I know is that it's like Portal-esque, I think, in tone, but it's in a office building. Whoa. I'm sorry. That's the drawback when you have a metal straw in a metal can. I'll just not move it. There we go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
Ah! Fuck. Sorry. I wanted to up the volume. No. Show me the intro again. There we go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, that was my cue. Let's see if there's... Yes. There's subtitles. Okay. Should have put those on before. Okay. Oh, it's... Why is it always so fast? I can't crouch. Okay. What? Okay, he's moving on ice. Okay. I'm gonna struggle with the controls, I can already tell. The mouse. Okay, mouse sensitivity, put that up a little bit. Okay. Okay, yeah,
All
that's
of his
better.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so the subtitles are in German for some reason. I mean, I don't understand why. Alright, well. Ah! Nope. I'm struggling. Alright. Okay. Well.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Well, since the subtitles are in German, maybe I'll just Oh, whatever. Most of the people watching this are German anyway.
What did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, if this dude is gonna narrate all the shit that I do, he's gonna have a rough time. Alright. Here's a picture. It's fucking bright outside, huh? Okay. Go to the meeting room. There's a yellow phone here. That yellow box looks like I could do stuff. I hate Mondays. Well, thank God it's Friday. Today of this recording. I don't know if I will upload it today. We'll see.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, I have cat hair in my nose now. Thanks, Pebbles. Alright. Well. So the dude said to go to the left door. Which, if we're playing in character, I feel like Stanley would continue this, but I also would do but for fun, let's go right door.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So all these doors are gonna be closed. This looks menacing.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Wow.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Alright. I don't need your sass.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Right. If you're gonna be sassy with me.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alright. GLaDOS. Leave me alone. Where the hell are we? What company are we working? I can't really do anything except... Jesus. Can't really do anything except walk and open doors, can I? Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop. Okay. I don't like to lie, so that's good. I hate that all the doors close behind me. I don't like it. But at least I know technically that this is like not a scary game. So there's people there. Do not jump. Penalty. Can I even? Oh god, yeah, I can.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Alright. I just wanted to see what was gonna happen, okay?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
this again. Was I here before? Probably.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I kind of want to go back to that place that I was.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
I wanted to
just
see.
admire it.
Yeah. I wanted to see if I can use that lift.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Is he talking about me?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What? I only just started. Okay, maybe I should have followed the directions to get like the good story, but here we are. Watch me speedrun this somehow. Oh God.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I really don't want to now.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
That escalated quickly.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
How did I fuck
Stanley
this
is
game
quite a
already?
boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Okay, he's gonna kill me if I know anything about how video games work. I can't even get close to the door. Hello, wife. You're creepy. What if I don't press K? What if we stand here for a minute? I can't believe how much I fucked this game already. I feel like there was a progression here and I did not follow through. I guess we'll have to do
But
this.
in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Question is, how long do I have to sit here? I'm guessing the game won't let me just do nothing. So... Is it one of those games that's like, oh, look at you following directions, but it never like gives you an option to not follow the directions if you just don't want to stop playing? Because, you know, I could just now power up my Switch and play some Animal Crossing for a couple hours. But I doubt that anything's gonna happen if I don't. So, let's do that then.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Fun! Did I speedrun the game? Is it over? Did I win? I'm guessing not.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
All
Stanley
right.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, so the game immediately punished me for not doing what I'm told. Okay, cool.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fine. Alright. Those just stock images that they put through a filter.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting the whiteboard manager. Meeting schedule. It's Friday, 10:30. So we should be having pranking floor 5 meeting. Targets. Push. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Fire paper guy. Who moved my desk? I hate how he's like moving on ice. Like there's a bit delay when I stop pushing the button. It's not very precise. Looks like our business is failing from this side, but I guess if I go on the other side, we're still doing pretty bad. Solving interpersonal. Whoop. What are your dreams for the future? Plant life. Metamorphosis. Oh no. Please tell me this is not a Kafka thing. Less air. Talk. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. Good tips. Dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take out passive aggressively of other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Make sure your site has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some B-level and all blah blah blah. Everyone is unique, you most of all.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Didn't you just murder me like 10 minutes ago? Okay. Let's just go before he actually... Whoa.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Well, see, now I feel defiant, and I want to walk downstairs. But I feel like I'm gonna derail this game, so let's just do whatever. Let's go back up. Damn. That's some ugly wallpaper.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
Oh,
to
hey.
discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Look, it's the picture. The icon for the game.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, I'm aware. Why do I have a thing over here? Oh.
2845.
That's why. Okay. Why did I write it down? I was like, oh, I better remember this, but no, he's just gonna tell me. What if I do it wrong?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I did it eventually. Calm down. God, these walls are so high. What's that? Oh, it's like a generator. Oh. Yikes.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Jesus.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Subtle.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I mean, that's one way of escaping, I suppose. I mean, it's not really, because I just wake up.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors, the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though their core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. My office. Corridor. The pacing of this open section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The tour doors. This set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Neat. Filing cabinets. I wonder if there's like a hidden message with these cabinets about how like open they are and stuff. Like probably. Office computers. Fun. Someone's like playing solitaire. The office. Yep. Button sounds. Selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Credits! I beat the game! Read all these names. Okay. Office clock. Boss's office. That's menacing. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Countdown desk. One of the guests from early version of the countdown ending. I feel like I'm being spoiled here. Like getting spoilers for the rest of the game. Beta freedom ending. Monitor room elevator. Okay. Countdown room. Game design mock-up. Nice. The lounge. Office items. Screenshots. The point of Stanley Parable is to lose and to win. Realized. Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on the battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which is not our intention. I mean, I feel like you should make fun of people that like shooters, personally. And I like shooters. Like, make fun of us, please. Alien base. Awesome. Cute. Maintenance room. Oh, okay. So this is... Alright. Getting some sense of the layout here. Narrator emails. After the second trailer, we sent out asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had intentionally planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here's a selection of those emails. How do you stay in shape? I want to tell you that I like the Spinal Parable as much as I like seeing a humorously small badger in swim. Alright. It's not gonna let me read it. Fine. Was I in here? No, I don't. Inside machine. The cargo lift. The same as what's in the first game. I wanted to look more like the cargo was actually stored. Okay. Cargo lift. Cargo was always a turn to okay. However, survivors have people falling to their death. I did that. Department timer. In previous versions leading to the apartment ending, the timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Oh, was that apartment ending what I got earlier? I imagine. Because I was in an apartment building, so. The game is now paused. Begin the game again, resume. Oh, that's the escape menu. The one started from the escape. Frustrating for everyone, yep. Oh, this is ending. I feel like I shouldn't read all these. I feel like I'm gonna encounter some of this if I go back to playing. Trailers. That's creepy. Honestly, very accurate museum experience, though. Option 1. Maintenance, 2 options. The vent. What vent? Okay. Wait, we were here. Then we went here? No, we didn't. Stanley's office. I'm left, right. Evolution of Stanley's office over time. In 2011, 2013. Look, I got a bigger desk. Fun times. My cabinets used to close. I guess since this is the exit, let's go this way.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Well. I'm probably gonna wake up back in the office, aren't I? Or did I just die? Is that the game? Did I beat the game? Well. I mean... yeah, I guess Stanley just fucking died. I guess we'll restart.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
That's new. Don't like that.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He changed it up on me.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, fuck.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
Coffee nut.
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh man, the last one hits different.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
I died again. Okay.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Sounds like there's rain.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah. It sounds like there's like rain falling down.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Wow. All right.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I was so used last time when we went down the elevator to Mass Effect elevators where you can't move and just look around. Every time I can move in an elevator, it's a novel experience.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What was Stanley's number again? 227, wasn't it? I think. I forgot. The bells outside are going ape shit. Oh. Can I shut these off? No.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. I'm kind of like losing my mind here a little. I don't know when to talk because there's a lot of narration going on and I don't want to interrupt the dude. But here we are. This seems menacing as hell. Okay. What do we got here? More buttons that I can't oh god, I walked onto this chair. I wonder if anything happens if I press them all, the buttons in sequence, because I mean there's 1, 2. There's 3. Did we see 3? 4 is up there. And 5 is back there. I keep expecting to get jump scared. Well, I can't see a 3. There's shit up there. Don't know if I can actually go there. Probably not, right? Is that an elevator? There's just darkness. Alright, this is where it came from. I guess we'll go to the facility power. Someone went ham with the shaders.
And And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Huh. Hey, we beat the game. Alright. Huh. Well, we're almost at an hour. And we beat the game. Okay. Yeah, I would stop it here for now. I think I'll return and do some of the other things, try and figure some other stuff out. This was an interesting game. I'm curious, like, what else is gonna happen now? Who's that? There's so much stuff going on. But yeah, thanks so for watching. This was fun. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!